It is time for another G.I. Joe toy review. Today we're going to be looking at a vehicle from my childhood. One that I thoroughly, sorry I blocked the camera there. I thoroughly enjoyed this as a kid. It was my first vehicle, and I played with it until it almost fell apart. It was just the coolest thing to me. It made its appearance in the Sunbow animated series several times. It was even in the introduction to the infamous G.I. Joe movie. And it was a very versatile vehicle. And I could see why. You know, it's tiny. You can get a bunch of them in a small space, especially for collectors. And it displays well. It's a great looking vehicle. So when it came out in '85, it was released as a part of Series 4. It was on the shelf from '85 until '87. Its original retail price was $2.39. So this was a vehicle that a kid could purchase with a little bit of pocket money, and it was popular with my friends. My buddy John had his, I had mine, and we played with them a lot. Gosh, what could I say about it? There was so much fun. It really was. It's not practical, obviously. Leaves the driver exposed and everything, but it was a great vehicle. And I had received it for Christmas the year that it came out. I only had a handful of Joes to my name, and I remember putting the blowtorch in it because I didn't have a Televiper, and I actually didn't have any Cobra figures at that time. I had a Cobra Trooper, but I couldn't remember where it was, I think. Otherwise, he would be flying in it. So I put blowtorch in it, and I would have him operate it. And that Christmas was a little bit thin for us again. So we all got received a handful of presents. And the flight pod was one of them for me. So it has sentiment, very strong sentimental value to it. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at this. There's some neat details I like to point out on that one. All right, so here it is, flight pod. If you could remember, the box art showed the Televiper piloting it. I have two examples here. I have the modern version here on the left with the Televiper. This is a very nice complement to the vintage on the right. They even have the stickers the same. It's just really neat. There are some subtle differences. The missiles are a little bit bigger on this one, and the gun has two air hoses on it, but I will review that one at a later date because it came with a 2-pack, not the wrapper. It came with a ram cycle and breaker. So let's go ahead and take a look at this, starting off with my least favorite accessory. It came with this mine. I did not really play with the mine. I thought it was ridiculous at the time. As you can see, the plastic is subject to yellowing. I do have an instructional video on how to fix the yellowing on these. But the mine on the inside, you see it has the some bomb works on it, and a removable panel, which does go up missing sometimes. These tabs do snap off easily, so that's something to be careful of. Like I said, I did not play with this very often. It was silly to me for some reason. It just did not seem practical. And the two loops here, I still can't quite figure out what they're used for outside of tying string around it and hanging it from your ceiling. This is very reminiscent of a water mine, a magnetic mine that they used during the Second World War. These spikes on it would trip the mine when a ship hit it. And this part on the back serves as a functioning piece which attaches into the back peg. And I did not know this, but it was supposed to be flown. You put the mine in it and fly it remotely and use it as a kamikaze vehicle, if you would. I did not know that until I saw Form BX257's review, and he brought that to point. Another part that easily falls off is the engine. Very nice detail on it. The turbines. It has two rudders on it with this tie rod, and it just slots right into the back of your flight pod, aka Trouble Bubble. That was the nickname given to him. Comes with two missiles. They are exactly alike. Very decent looking missiles, if you ask me. They slot where it fits onto these pegs. These pegs snap off easily as well, so be careful with that. They friction in real easily. The missiles come up missing very often. This one was completely intact up until a few weeks ago. Fell off my shelf, and you can see where it's yellowing there. I had to glue it. It just broke my heart. And the front part here is a control console that slides forward and backwards. A control grip. I use these as machine guns, but I believe they're forward observing lights to see at night. And if you can see that on the back of the console, there's some gauges. They didn't have to sculpt those in, but they did. It's pretty nice. Two hand grips, and on the, see, it just comes apart real easy. Comes with a machine gun on the front that pivots from side to side. And the canopy always reminded me of a helmet. Has a nice little Cobra sigil on it. The canopy pops open, and the back peg here fits every figure very well. Has some nice sculpting here on the seat. And this is just a really neat, inexpensive vehicle. The engine falling off still frustrates me to this day. It bugged the heck out of me as a kid. I'm playing with it and it falls off in mid-flight, so it has to crash. You know, cheap Cobra junk. You know, it's just a really cool figure. or figure, really cool toy in general. I, very nicely detailed. Comes with a great amount of decals on it. It has a serial number decal, 3 planes. This one's shot down. So it's a neat little toy. Yeah, I really do enjoy this. It I just want to stress just how frail this thing gets over the years, just like everything else. So be careful with it if you buy one, or if you do have one. I'm sure you know. Just keep it someplace safe. It was pretty frail even back in its heyday. Things fall off easily, and the missile pegs break off. And I'm really surprised that those survived, and especially with yellowing. It's just the plastic. There's been so much debate on what causes yellowing. Is it UV rays? Is it acids in your skin? Is it acids in storage containers or whatever you use to store stuff? Just taking an educated guess, body acid is different for everybody. Our pH level, pH means potential for hydrogen. Our pH level is supposed to be between 7.35 and 7.45. Some people's skin is more acidotic, which is less than 7.35, or more alkalotic, which is more than 7.45. And it really depends on your acid levels. There was an example that was shared that two brothers had the exact same toys, but one brother's yellowed, the other brother's didn't. And they were both stored the same, handled the same, blah, blah, blah. So that's how I came up with that educated guess on acids. There is no definitive proof on anything. I really think it's acids and UV rays that yellow these. UV rays, especially. My friend John left his storm shadow outside all summer, and he turned yellow from being out in that hot sun all the time. And we flipped him over and his back was white. So UV rays do play a major role in that. So if you handle it, wouldn't hurt to wipe it down after you're done with a cloth and soap and water, if you want to. Avoid the decals, of course, and start with a silica pack, and that helps as well. So this obviously got a lot of play, so it's yellowing. All right, enough of the science. Let's get into my favorite segment, Byron's Gripe. I don't think my stomach looked that big. Very conscious of that now. So if you are looking for a flight pod, they are available. They're out there. I saw maybe 9 of them right now. A complete one goes anywhere from $24.95 to $37.44. Those are fairly good prices, especially the $24.95. That one I would jump on. I paid less than that for this one 8 months ago. 8 months ago. I didn't buy that 8 months ago. What am I talking about? thinking, thinking of this one. Saw it out of the corner of my eye. Of course, we paid less for that one 20 plus years ago, 30 years ago. So yeah, we all know that the prices are going up, hence this segment. Complete with box, and the box has the blueprints and a few other trinkets to go with it. I think some of the trading cards that had a picture of the flight pod on it. $99.99. The box is in good shape. If you're a box collector, okay, I could possibly see that, but I don't know very many people who do collect boxes. I have a few. That's only because the vehicle was sold with it at a very, very good price, so I sprung on those. Yeah, $100 is a bit steep, but like I said, if you're a box collector, that's up to you. There is one flight pod out there that's being sold incomplete. It doesn't have the missiles, for $39.99. No. No. That is just a bit too much. Like, it's not plated in platinum, people. You don't have to ask such high prices for it. I've said this many times, and I'll keep on saying it, because it says G.I. Joe. It does not mean it's expensive. It's worth a lot of money. Yes, there are G.I. Joes out there that are worth money, such as the prototypes, international releases of Tiger Force and Night Force. Yes, those guys are going to be more expensive because we didn't have them here in the States. I could see those going for higher prices, and for good reason, supply and demand. But there is a lot of supply out there of these flight pods, and I demand you guys lower them. Lower the prices. There are a lot of G.I. Joes out there. Lower the prices. And I have a feeling that since Hasbro won't be making G.I. Joe anymore, the Collectors Club won't be doing it, that the custom Joes are going to be the way to go. And so people will be turning to customizers like Black Major or Red Laser for these customs. And those prices are even starting to go up because the demand is there. And I could understand that, because they're hand painted and it's a work of art. So I won't go completely off on those because I'm not reviewing them at the moment. So the missiles, $1.99 to $2. That's just for one. And that seems to be the going price for them. The $2, $2 a piece. Okay, that's reasonable. I'll go with that. There is a pair of them being sold for $4. Now I think it's like $3.75 shipping, so you're going to be paying $7.75. So again, always include shipping when you're working out your budget. Shipping sometimes kills you. I would suggest, if you're trying to complete a vehicle, buy the parts from the same dealer. That way shipping will be combined. The body strap, which is this little thing right here, it wraps around the inside of the flight pod and attaches to the seat, or the seat holds it into place. That is selling for $1.99 to $3. I wouldn't pay more than $2 for it personally. The Canopy $2.50 to $6.95, and no, I would not pay $6.95 for it. Also with the Canopy, watch out for the tabs. It's not very common, but tabs do break off, and I did see one out there that didn't have tabs on it. The control shaft, $1.99 to $3. Okay, pretty decent. The engine, $3.50. The engine with tie rods, which has the rudder and that little rod that fits across the back. With the tie rod, the engine is $3.50. The one with the tie rods and rudders, $3.55 to $7.50. The tie rod really isn't, it stays on really well. It mushroom pegs on there, and these aren't really known to come off or break, but because it's made out of a very soft plastic. It's very flexible. So the tie rod isn't anything that'll break like on, let's say, the water moccasin. Little tie rod that fits between the two veins. That snaps easily, especially on the Tiger Force. The red plastic is a little bit frail. So I really wouldn't pay more than $4 for the engine with the tie rods. The body of the flight pod, $3.95. Instructions, $4.99 to $5.99. That's pretty fair. It really is. And the blueprints, if you put them in like a plastic sleeve, you know, like what we used to put our reports in, and turn them in high school and make your report look a little bit nicer, hopefully get a better grade. You put those in the plastic sleeves and hang them up on your wall. It looks really nice. So yeah, I would pay $5.99 for those instructions. The intake, which is at the top of the engine, 99 cents each, or $1.99. Okay, that's pretty decent as well. The rudder, $1.99. The mine, without the cover, $2.99. With the cover, $3.99 to $9.99. No, sir. No. 10 bucks for that little mine. And most of us just set it off to the side as kids. It wasn't until the flag came out, and then you could use it as a water mine, or for a mine for the hovercraft, or the devilfish. That's when it really came into play. We didn't use it with the flight pod. And like I said, I didn't remember that it could be used as a to put it in there and use it as a flying bomb. I didn't remember that. So that was pretty cool. I'm sure it was mentioned on the instructions. The view screen, which is the little handlebar deal up on the control console, $1.50 to $3.50. No, don't. $3.50. Come on. The mine cover, the cover that goes over the controls of the bomb works inside the mine, $2.99 to $4.50. Really, $4.50? No. A flight pod near complete. Now this is the deal of the day. I think it was missing. The ones I saw out there were just missing the missiles. $11.50 to $13, and you spend another $4 on the missiles plus shipping. I mean, that's why it's the deal of the day, is you could build it a lot cheaper than what one is being sold for complete. So there you have it. the flight pod and my review. I hope you really enjoyed that one. Like I said, it holds a lot of childhood memories for me. It's a really cool vehicle. It was inexpensive for its day. It was a lot of fun to play with. It made a lot of media appearances so you could reenact things you saw from the show. And just for a vehicle its size, it had a lot of play value, a lot of really neat play features. And that's one of the really cool things about Hasbro and the design team that they had. Those guys were incredible. They sculpted very intricately, and they didn't have to. As you see down the road, when it got into the 90s, they got a little bit lazier to cut costs, but they didn't have to do that. Excuse me. Allergy season. Oh, yuck. But when it first came out, they put out a very good product for little money. And I guess they didn't have to do that, but they did. And this is a shining example of it. Just the detail on it. If you can see that. Just all around. I mean, they especially on a tiny vehicle, they didn't have to do it, yet they did. So my hat's off to the guys at Hasbro, and I'm sure they're making other toys, and that they're just not, well, you guys were on the G.I. Joe construction team, bye, you guys are gone. So I hope that they all still have their jobs creating other toy lines. It's just an end of an era, and it's up to us, older generation, to pass it on to the younger generation and to build an appreciation for them. Let the kids play with something with their hands and their imagination other than video games. So anyway, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please share and subscribe to this channel. I will be holding a giveaway at the when I reach the 250 mark. I'm at 237 now, I believe. And I can't thank you guys enough for that. So a nice prize will be given away, I promise you. And also, look me up on Ko-fi. It'll be down in the description. Feel free to leave me a tip. That money will go right back into this channel and be used to buy more action figures for giveaways and reviews. So anyway, this has been Joe Motion Videos 82 signing off. You guys have a fabulous day. Take care. Be kind to everyone and be kind to animals. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.